Hey guys, how's it going? Solo back with another daily stock market video. And today, let's take a look at rocket companies. We haven't taken a look at this stock in a little over a week now, and it seems like you guys really liked the last video, so let's make an updated follow-up video. So as always, we'll take a look at how the day traded yesterday on Friday. We will take a look at the option flow data a little bit later on in the video, and then we'll close out the video by looking at the technical analysis on RKT to see where we think the stock is going to trade this coming trading week. Now, keep in mind, this is for Rocket Companies, ticker symbol RKT, not to be confused with Rocket Therapeutics, ticker symbol RCKT. And that caused a little bit of confusion this past week because Rocket Therapeutics, RCKT, had a big gap up during the middle of this week. And so a lot of people, especially on Twitter, were tweeting out RKT, and some people were getting really excited because they had Rocket Companies instead of Rocket Therapeutics. So just make sure you have those tickers straight, especially if you're trying to place an order. So again, this is Rocket Companies, ticker symbol RKT. So looking at the Robinhood graph, you can see kind of a flat day overall for RKT. On Friday, had a huge run up within the first 30 minutes of trading, all the way up to being up over 2.7%. Then we sold it all back up until a little after noon. Then we were kind of flat, traded a little bit choppy for the rest of the day. Like I said, looks like after hours, we were also down about 0.3%. So really, including after hours trading on Friday, we did end up in the red overall. Looking at the weekly graph, kind of a staircase pattern. It's been going up and up and up every single day this past week, then kind of traded flat to finish out the week. So not looking bad if you had bought some calls or if you own shares. The monthly graph is a different story, right? We kind of peaked back in middle of November. Then we've been selling off slowly since basically about a week ago till we had a nice little rally for the last few trading days. Let's take a look to see if there was any news on RKT that may have caused these moves in the market. So here's the Zacks article on RKT that just came out actually 2 days ago on December 10th. And similar to my prior video last night on Virgin Galactic, they saw a lot of option activity for the January 15, 2021 $30 puts. So that's not necessarily a good sign if there's a lot of options activity in terms of puts that were being bought, which would be about a monthly option right now. And if we scroll down to the bottom of the article, we can see that their Zacks consensus estimate, for those that are curious, for the current quarter actually increased from 55 cents per share to 81 cents in that same period. So take it for what you will. I don't like that the fact that there's been a lot of option interest in a 30 strike put for about a monthly option. So let's take a look at the TradingView graph to see what we can make out from the technical side of things. So we did do some TA last week when I last looked at RKT, and looking at the charting right now, the first thing I'm looking at are these trend lines that I drew that kind of are forming a wedge pattern. And what I thought was, and I alluded to this on my prior video, was is this the proper way or the more accurate way to draw the wedge pattern, or should I extend this out from the all-time high and do something a little bit tighter and more steep like this? I think at the end of the day, it's not going to make a difference because what I'm about to propose, the pattern still remains the same. So what I think is going to happen, just looking at the big picture of the way RKT has been trading, and keep in mind, it has not been publicly traded for that long. In fact, it was first traded just a few months ago on August 6th. And you can see it's kind of been choppy overall. It had a huge run up about that first month that it IPO'd. Then we sold it all off. And we've kind of been up and down for the past few trading months. But my overall thought on RKT is that we're in this wedge pattern. And I think what's going to happen is that we're going to bounce around until we finally break out of it to the upside. So the real question is, when is that going to happen? Is that going to happen on Monday when the market opens and all of a sudden, that's the day that we jump out? Or are we going to bounce around for a little bit and then maybe in a few weeks or a few more days, that's when we're going to bounce out? I do think, though, at some point we will have a bounce. The question is really, when is that going to happen? And that's one of those things where we're just going to have to wait and see and just let it happen when it happens, but make sure that we're prepared for it if it does. So the real question I want to know is, where do my areas of support and resistance hold up right now? Because it looks like the closest area of trend that I've drawn is at about $21, okay? And actually, if we look back 2 days ago on December 9th, we closed pretty much right at that area of trend. The following day, we actually sold off. We couldn't hold that area. And then Friday, again, we kind of closed below it, but not that far below it. So again, I just want to reiterate, these trend lines are not hard and fast and accurate numbers. They're more areas than there are lines, meaning when I have a line at $21, it doesn't mean exactly $21.00 is going to be support or resistance. It basically means somewhere in the $21 range is going to be an area of trend. So right now, I think for the past 3 trading days, we've kind of been hugging this trend line. The other interesting thing is that we are right on the orange line here, which is the 21-day moving average. And the pink line is actually hidden right at my trend line, which is the 50-day moving average. So what I'm going to be looking at is to see where RKT trades in the next trading day or two. Meaning, is it going to use the 21-day moving average as support and bounce up? Or is it really going to sell off even more, and then that moving average is going to be resistance? Now, if we sell off, sell up, there's not a lot of price action until we break out of this trend line, because that 21-day moving average is at about $20.82. My trend line is roughly at about $1 more, somewhere in the mid $21 range. So it's not going to take much to potentially have a breakout over this trend line if we use these moving averages as support. Now, keep in mind though, let's say we have a big green day on Monday and we close above the trend line around here. I still want to see an area of confirmation, meaning I want to see another trading day, hopefully the following day on Tuesday, where we still close above this trend line to confirm that that wasn't just a fluke and that truly was a true breakout of this wedge pattern. If not, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised until we kind of trade up and down choppily until we finally kind of get so narrow into this wedge that we're going to have a big breakout. Now, it's not guaranteed that we're going to have a breakout to the upside. The market, the overall market, has just been pumping like crazy the past month. We're getting into the Santa Claus rally in the month of December. So although it is possible that we could break out to the downside, I think just the way the market is moving, I think it's more likely that we're going to break out to the upside. So for those of you that are thinking about maybe wheeling RKT, it may be a good time to sell some cash secured puts now to lock in some low strike prices, or do a buy right and just own 100 shares flat out right now and then sell some far out of the money covered calls to try and lock in a low strike price or a low share price. Or if you want to swing trade it, you could consider just buying the shares right now and then waiting for this pop to try and sell off those shares for some stock appreciation. Obviously, none of this is financial advice. I personally don't have any positions in RKT. I actually have never traded shares or options on RKT, but I know a lot of people in my Discord server have been trading it, and it seems like it's a popular ticker for my audience. So that's really all I have to say. I just want to close with looking at the RSI here. It's neither overbought nor oversold. So I think, like I said, on Monday, the next trading day, we could easily go up or we could easily go down, but I do want to see how the stock moves for the next day or two to see what kind of pattern I think is going to form. And I said we would close out the video by looking at some option flow data. So let's take a look at Trade UI. So here's the option flow data on RKT for the last trading day on Friday. You can see there were only 4 big orders that came in. Half are puts and half are calls. The green boxes represent calls, the red boxes represent puts. And actually they were all farther than a month out. You can see 3 of these options were for the March 19th, 2021 expiration date, and 1 was really far out for the June 18th, 2021. The biggest order was actually a 21 strike put for March 19th, and that came in at a value of over $120,000. So I don't know what to make of this. It's kind of been 50-50 split, so I don't think I want to put too much weight in the option flow orders. But you can take a look at some of these strike prices. The calls were at 25 and 30 strikes. The puts were at 19 and 21 strikes. So I still think I want to wait and see how the price action is on Monday and Tuesday to see what pattern forms on the trading chart. and we'll make an updated technical analysis video later on next week. Smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. And most importantly, get in our Discord server if you're not in there already. We have some very smart, friendly, knowledgeable people in there. So if whether you're a complete beginner or a seasoned expert, you will get a lot of value out of the Discord server. There's a ton of stuff to do in there, ton of content, ton of information. And I'm in there 24/7 along with some of our other members. So we're always around to answer any questions. Or if you want to throw some tips or run some trade idea by us, we are always in there ready to help you out and just all around make money together. Hope everybody's having a happy weekend. Leave me a comment below with what ticker you want me to take a look at next. And as always, happy trading.